Right now, if we were to go to our site and click on a single blog post, we would see that WordPress takes care of querying everything and displaying only our post. That's great, but there's a few noticeable problems. Our post is only showing the excerpt. It has this read more button which we don't need, and it also isn't showing tags or comments. We could also add logic to the index template to check if this is a single post, but I think creating a template for this would be so much better, cleaner, and efficient. According to the template hierarchy, WordPress will search for a file called singleposttype.php, where post type is dynamic and can mean anything. We haven't talked about custom post types yet. When we start creating plugins, we will take a look into that, but for now, we'll just actually create a universal single post template. So we'll be creating the single.php template instead. Create this file now, and I'm going to just simply copy and paste the code in my index template to the single template. First, we're going to remove this read more button link. We don't need it. We're also going to delete this p tag with the excerpt. Instead, we're going to call a function called the_content. This function does as it sounds. It will display the contents of the post. Lastly, I'm going to call a function called the_tags. This function will include all tags related to this post and take care of comma-separated all the tags. It will also generate each tag into a link. Let's check out a single post and see if everything is working. You might notice that our post doesn't display tags, and it's not because we did anything wrong in our theme. It's because FigurePress doesn't generate tags for posts. Edit this post and create some tags. Make sure to save it, and let's view our post again. We're almost done. There's actually a few things WordPress recommends we do to make our theme compatible with most WordPress sites. In the resources section, I provide a link to the theme development codex. On the content sidebar, I want you to click single post. WordPress jots down some important notes for us to know when creating this template. You shouldn't consider these rules, but more as suggestions. So let's see what WordPress has to say about the single post template. The first thing it suggests is that we should call a function called wp_link_pages parentheses for paginated posts. What exactly does this do and how does it work? Well, WordPress provides a feature called quick tags. Quick tags can be thought of as code that you can insert into a post, and WordPress will replace this with more code. It's almost like shortcodes, except quick tags are special to WordPress and not something commonly extended by developers. Let's take a look at how this works. First, let's edit our post. I'm going to switch from the visual editor to the text editor. Then, I'm going to insert the following HTML comment somewhere in between this post. Less than, exclamation mark, dash, next page, dash, dash, greater than. What this will do is break the content into multiple pages. This is useful if you have an extremely long post and would like to paginate into separate pages without having to actually create an individual post for each section. Save this and then let's view our post. You'll notice it won't work right away. This is because we haven't called the WP link pages function. Call this function right between the content and the tags function. Let's refresh our post, and you should now see our post being paginated into separate pages. Pretty cool, huh? The best part is we didn't have to do much work to get this working. I'm going to provide a link to this function so you can learn more about it. Actually, now that I look at it, I want to center this. If we take a look at the documentation, you'll see it says that the before key is the text/HTML that is displayed before the list. There's even an example usage provided. Let's use that and remove everything but the before key in the array. Bootstrap provides a handy class called text center, so we'll just modify this paragraph tag and add the class text center. Let's refresh the page to see if our text is now centered. Great. Let's keep going down the list. We're already displaying the title and content, so we can skip those. The post date is already being displayed. However, WordPress recommends we don't use our own format. I'm going to ignore this suggestion because I want to keep the format the way it is because it fits with my design. Also, WordPress introduces a new API called the Options API. We haven't talked about the Options API yet, so I don't want to overwhelm you when we're still working on templates. I promise in a future lecture we'll take a look at the Options API and what this function does that WordPress is calling. We are already displaying the categories and links, so let's skip that one. It's suggesting we provide an edit link, But I'm going to ignore this suggestion as well because if you look at the top bar, you'll find a link to edit the current posts. So we don't need to add our own. Now it's suggesting we display comments and a form for submission. I'm going to cover this in the next lecture as comments deserve its own kind of lecture. So let's skip over this one for now and move on to the last and final point. WordPress now recommends we add links to any posts posted previously or after this post. We can do this by simply calling the previous underscore post underscore link and the next underscore post underscore link functions. I want you to know that you shouldn't confuse these two functions with its plural form. Let me show you what I mean. Since we copied our index template, we're already using these two functions in our single post template. However, we need to do a few things. First, we need to move the navigation tags inside the loop. Next, we have to remove the S in these functions. These functions have two parameters which we want to customize. The first parameter is how we want to format the link. We can actually use a placeholder called %link. WordPress will search for this and replace it with the actual link to the post. So let's just pass that in as is. The next parameter is text next inside the link. This time we're given a placeholder called %title. This will be replaced with the name of the post. I'm going to be using font awesome icons once again and place them like so. That's it for now. Why don't you look at a post and see if these links are working for you? In the next lecture, we'll finish up our template by adding comments and a form to submit additional comments.